Meeting of Lewistown Borough Council come to order. Rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Nelson Riffinak.
Here.
Robert Hammond.
Here.
Larry Sear.
Here.
Vina Shade.
Here.
James Still.
Here.
Aaron Wilson.
Here.
Bill Wilson.
Here. Is there anybody in the audience has anything to bring before Lewistown Borough Council? Okay, if not at this time, before we go into the consent agenda and the regular meeting, we're gonna take a vote on the, okay for the OIP in downtown. Liquor license.
So we have it in the form of a resolution. It would be resolution 2022, whatever, approving the transfer of the liquor license from Gary Township to the downtown OIP property at 2426 East Market Street in Lewistown. I guess we would do that by roll call.
What's council's wishes?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion been made, properly second. Roll call, please.
Nelson Riffinak.
Yes.
James Still.
Yes.
Larry Sear.
Yes.
Vina Shade.
Yes.
Robert Hammond.
Yes.
Aaron Wilson.
Yes.
Bill Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
See ya.
Can't-
You guys stay. You can stay for the rest of it. You okay?
I've heard you talk all day.
Okay, I see somebody come in. Do you have anything to bring before Borough Council? No. Okay. Then we'll go on with the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody wants taken out of there or questioned before we?
I passed the scheduled bills in front of each council member, you should have it at your chair. The facility use request, the one we have right now is for the baseball for the summer that they do every year.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I make a motion. I'll second it.
Motion made, properly second. Questions? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carries. Borough manager report.
The first thing that's not on here, I'd like to welcome our new treasurer, Erica Slocum. She's in the back here, just sitting, so if you guys want to talk to her at the end, feel free. Welcome aboard, Erica.
Thank you.
All right, first thing is a fire department audit. It is still ongoing. We have city done. They are working with United in Brooklyn now, and I believe Brooklyn is supposed to be getting scheduled for the 22nd of this month, followed by United. The next thing is the contract negotiations. The next meeting is the 31st of March at 1400. The employment opportunities / vacancies, the Director of Public Works is advertised, and we do have 3 or 4 applications for that position. The Mason Workman position is on hold until the person that vacated that position decides whether he wants to remain in the job he bid into, which we have about 3 weeks left. The refuse collector job just came open. That's out for bid internally. We got seven calendar days or 7 work days. What is it, 20? It's the middle of next week is where it ends. And then we'll go from there whether we get a hire externally or if it's going to be internal. The Human Resource Coordinator analysis is still ongoing. We're still working with the consultant on that. We'll hopefully have an answer in the next week or so. The other thing is the alternate for the Fire Ad Hoc Committee. Venus, you asked to be named the alternate on that committee with Aaron, and so that would come up to the council president to do that. Venus wants to be added to the Fire Ad Hoc Committee as the alternate.
Oh,
So you do that.
No problem with that. We're looking for
Are you sure?
volunteers.
Don't protest too much, Heavy.
We're looking for volunteers all the time.
All right,
You got it.
I got it.
Okay,
The last thing-
you're on.
The last thing I put on here is not on here, but I'm gonna add it because it doesn't involve a contract or personnel or wages or anything like that. I got a call from a resident who wanted permission to put Ukraine ribbons on all the parking meters downtown in support of what's going on in Ukraine. I told her I wouldn't approve that because that's a political stance, and so I would not approve that as a borough manager. That goes to council. So you guys can discuss that or just do no action on it and it just goes away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, fire chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of February, the fire department ran 27 alarms, which consisted of 4 miscellaneous fires, 4 building fires, 1 cooking fire, which was contained in the kitchen. We had 2 chimney fires, 1 brush, 4 medical assists, 3 motor vehicle accidents with injuries, 1 motor vehicle accident with entrapment. We had a natural gas leak. Once again, that was an actual leak too. It was down 3rd Street. A passerby caught the odor when I was walking by. We went down, our meters showed a little bit, not much, but showed a little bit of gas. So we had the gas company come in and they actually found the leak at the meter going into the building. We had 1 oil spill, 2 carbon monoxide incidents, and we had a cellar we had to pump out. It was getting pretty high, and we had to have the people get out of there because we had to turn the electricity and stuff off until we got that taken care of. They were back in the following day. We had 1 police assist and 1 automatic alarm. Other than that, I had nothing else. Anybody have any questions for myself? Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Mayor.
Have one thing. I would say probably the majority of the complaints I get through my office, as far as the physical part of the borough, is the blighted properties. And I got to thinking, what if we would develop another ad hoc committee to maybe look over the situation and come up with a couple different ideas as to how to handle this. I mean, I think we're at a point again where if we don't soon do something, there's not going to be any turning back. We have to look at this issue. So, I thought maybe that would be a good way of doing it. It wouldn't have to be all, council people. It could be people in the community, because I know a lot of them have an interest in it. So it's something that you might want to think about, because we really do need to do something. So if you want to discuss it and see if an ad hoc committee, I'd be happy to oversee it and get the people from the community to participate in it. But I think it's a start. And maybe this group would come up with some good ideas on how we can
Why
handle
don't you
this.
get me a list of names and we'll make it a committee if any.
Hey, I'd be happy to volunteer for that too, Heavy.
You're on. You're on. You just keep volunteering.
So when I first
That's
started
good.
here, Mayor, I started a list with Rex, since he'd be the kind of guy that would be working that. And we had, I think, 20 properties identified, #1 priority down through number 20.
Right.
We were taking
right.
pictures and stuff so I think that's a good idea to build that back up again with the files I already have with
Yeah, I
Rex and
think
put
so,
something
too.
together for you guys to look
I
at.
think so too, it'd be something to start with.
Yeah.
And like I say, concerned citizens are always good to have their voice heard. Maybe they can come up with something we didn't think of. So,
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, if you wanna get you got first volunteer, if anybody else is interested, give Deb your name and
mhm.
bring me a list the next meeting. We'll make it a committee and
Okay,
You can start whenever you want to.
okay, I appreciate it.
That's- Jim,
Can I add?
sure.
As a part of the blight remediation for the point, we had to submit a blight plan, and it was a bare bones initially. So we could certainly build upon this, and I think it's gonna be absolutely important if we wanna go after additional dollars from the state or from other funds if we're working with the county. So, yeah, I definitely wanna be a part of that
Okay,
as well,
great.
because I think that's very important.
Yeah,
Very
okay,
important.
thank you.
No kidding, Maria.
Okay, police chief,
Just checking.
Okay, stats for February, we had 518 calls for service. That's up from 385 in January. 62 traffic citations, 11 non-traffic citations, and 59 written ones. Civil service testing for officer positions was completed, and we have a list of eligible candidates, and that has to be certified by the Civil Service Commission. A couple other things we have going on, we're applying for 2 different grants. These grant applications are due at the end of March. $250,000 grants with no matching funds. One of the things we're applying for are drug testing devices called TrueNarc. It's uses laser technology to analyze drug samples, so it allows the officers to test, if they see some kind of drugs, it allows them to test it without being exposed to the drugs. They don't have to take it out the way we do now. So we take a sample and put it into a little vial and do a chemical test to determine what it is. So these devices will allow us to test things without doing that. And it gives a presumptive result that's accepted in court for, at least for the preliminary hearing stage. So that's going to be a countywide grant, we're applying for that. And the second grant we're looking at is for rugged laptops for the officers per capita for each department in the county. This is again a countywide grant. New hardware for all departments, and this is like the first phase of a project. We're looking at doing the hardware this year, and then possibly next year doing a new RMS system countywide, so all departments can share data and so forth. So a couple things we have going on there with grants. Other than that, I have one executive session issue to deal with.
any questions for the police chief? Rec board,
The rec board meeting was canceled because I attended the fire ad hoc meeting. However, I do have one issue. A while ago, they asked me about the issues, and I received complaints about this, and I'm sure the mayor has too, about the geese in Rec Park because of the geese feces and kids falling in it and that kind of stuff. So I called the game commission. Game commission referred me to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They called me, and it's the same people, same person that has a contract with Dairy Township. So they sent myself and Ben some files on what they did to work the issue in Kitch Township. First thing they had to do over there was pass an ordinance that, you're not allowed to feed the wildlife. But I have not seen anybody feeding the geese down there at all. Now, I called Kelly Schutz to find out some details on that. Basically, she said there's a difference in feeding the wildlife, and in her case, people are taking like bushels of corn down there and loaves of bread and stuff. We haven't had that problem. The other thing is the enactment of putting up signs about not feeding the animals and stuff. And the third thing was actually going out and harassing the geese, whether it was, shooting them or running after them. And also,
I'm not volunteering for that.
I will.
the other thing they talked about was coating the eggs in the nest with like vegetable oil because it stops them from developing and hatching. So that's just the information I found out. We haven't acted anything on this yet. It comes with a price though, because they have to have a contract, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and Kelly spent, I think her contract is $16,000, they spent $8,000 so far on monitoring this. However, the issue is, them kicking their geese out of their park is what made them show up in our park. So there's a possible cost sharing involved in there too that I've already talked to her about, she's willing to talk about, so.
I don't know what's so good for them to eat down there. Man, they're all, every time you pass them.
They actually do kill some of them, but it goes to a food bank. So, yeah, we can't hide in the bushes down there and, snipe one, Mayor, I'm sorry. So that's the update on the rec board. The geese thing is an ongoing thing, and I'll keep working that.
That's it?
That's it, sir. on that one.
Borough Solicitor.
Thank you. There is one ordinance that's up for adoption tonight. We've advertised the ordinance having to do with the sewer rates. So the new amount would be 85, 89 as a flat rate, and that's the minimum rate payable. And that's for 0 gallons per quarter. Per 1,000 gallons, it would be 85, 89 plus $2.17 for each 1,000 gallons of water used or part thereof. So, from time to time, Borough Council has changed these.
What's the
these
current
amounts.
rate?
79 or something like that. It's real close to that. It went up a few bucks.
And the 1,000 gallon over rate has stayed the same, or that too went up?
Do you know if the refuse water rate went up? It went up a few pennies. No, it actually might have went down a few pennies. I have to go back and look at my files. I mean, it's not a huge difference. It's plus or minus a few cents on that one.
Okay.
Which borough's wishes on the sewer rate?
I make a motion we enact this rates.
Second that.
Motion made, properly second. Roll call, please.
Nelson Reefenack,
Yes.
James Still,
Yes.
Larry Sear,
Yes.
Venus Shade,
No.
Robert Hammond,
Yes.
Aaron Wilson,
No.
Bill Wilson,
Yes.
Motion carries.
And I believe that's the only issue I have.
What about street sweeper?
I'm still looking through that. What I've been doing while the meeting's been going on is going through all the minutes. And it looks like the borough manager would just announce like a date for street sweeping to start. I don't think it's contained in the ordinance itself. I think it's, the ordinance is suspended every
You should know how much
fall.
it costs to run the sewer plant.
I understand. Yes.
And then, every spring, a date is picked, like,
Well,
for instance, like,
let's get something down back. We have it the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
That's a definite, so we
That
don't
would
need to
be
worry
those
about any
definite.
dates.
so you always want to do
Yeah.
the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Right.
That's a
As
stopping
the
date.
suspension date,
Right.
okay.
Now, what's council's wishes as far as, I thought, was under the assumption that we made
The first,
the
week of
first
April?
full week of April as the date to start it back up. I mean, not no particular date, just the first full week.
Right, because Easter's always.
Which
gonna be
this
different.
year would be April 3rd.
right,
Now, and Venus said she thought it was the
a
week
little later.
of Easter, but of course they changed the week of Easter. You know, so I think we ought to take like either the first full week or the second full week or third, it doesn't matter to me. But let's set a date here, or a week. And then that way, from now on, all we have to do is say, well, the street sweeper every year is the first full week, or whatever week you pick to start it, and it ends the last Sunday before Thanksgiving.
So you could say the first Sunday, in
April.
that would give you the first 7
That
days.
could be the first full week,
So the
yeah.
first Sunday, that takes any question out of it as to what day it starts.
Okay, that's the way I thought it was, but that's fine with me.
Let's do this first. Ben, since your guys are the ones out there running the street sweeper, do you have any thoughts on that as far as timeline because of your experience?
No, that's fine. I mean, the shift would begin Sunday evening.
Yeah, that's what I,
The
yeah.
operator
Okay.
works Sunday into Thursday.
Okay.
That would be fine and dandy. The only thing, obviously, you may run into are weather conditions.
Yeah, we can,
You know, and we can.
Yeah,
adjust
we
at
could
that
have,
point.
that could happen the end of the month.
yeah, anytime.
Correct.
Any-
I mean-
Right. mean, that's the only things I could see.
Okay.
I have zero issue with that, zero.
Okay, somebody wanna make a motion to that effect then, that we do it, we resume the first Sunday of April
I'll make that motion.
I'll
and,
second it.
and stop the
Friday.
Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So you want me to put that as part of your ordinance?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll bring that back next month for, because we'll have to advertise it
Oh,
since it's
okay.
changing the
Okay,
ordinance.
okay, so
For Sunday.
this year then, we're gonna start at what, the 17th, because somebody
Yes.
said there was an article in the paper
It's on, yeah,
about the
it's on our
17th.
website, the 17th.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's official, it's on our borough website,
Okay.
so we'll start after that.
So this year, street sweeping will resume April 17th.
Ben had his
Yeah,
hand up.
what was the, pardon me, I apologize, but what was the ending? What was the date that you said?
It stops the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Because Thanksgiving is always a different date too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
first Sunday in April to the Sunday.
Okay.
Yep, and then so the shift will just change and it'll be, okay, I'm just for, as far as. the
So
main
will it actually
hour, yeah.
end, so you run on a Sunday to Sunday shift,
Sunday to Thursday.
Sunday to Thursday, so
The
you'll,
operator's weekend is Friday evening, and then Saturday evening, he's back to work Sunday evening at 10:30.
so should we end it the Saturday before
That's why I asked
Thanksgiving or
that,
the
that's why I
Sunday?
asked that question, because that gets into the confusion.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if you can make it a Friday or you can make it a Sunday. I mean, there's no street sweeper gonna go Saturday night. Nobody's
Correct.
lined up for
Okay.
Saturday nights
Correct.
anyway, so.
It would
I
just,
mean-
the only issue would be just so that the date is solid as far as the enforcement of it goes.
Right.
Yeah,
So keep it with Sunday before Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good.
That's really
okay,
all I
then you'll
have.
bring that back for a vote next
Yep.
month, okay.
And you did the liquor license transfer.
Okay, now we have a vacancy on the Mifflin County Municipal Water Authority. Lonnie Griffith was the only,
Yes, he's the only one that submitted an application for that position. And it was advertised.
council's wishes.
Make a motion, we accept Lonnie Griffith.
Motion made, properly second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. Okay, the sewer rates, we did take care of that.
Yep, the next two will be executive session. The next one is the water sample.
Liquor license transfer, we did that. Wastewater treatment plant, water.
So they have 4 water samplers down there. One is broken, it's unrepairable, and they need a new one, and this is what it looks like. And there's 2 types. One is by time and one is by volume. Depends on how they set it up. This is so we don't have to run overtime and over shifts into the weekend and that kind of stuff, so for testing. Like I said, they got 4, one's broke. It's Co-Stars, we already talked to people with that, so the lowest bid is $8,996.96.
We need it, right?
We need it,
I
yes.
make a motion, we buy it.
We only need one.
We only need one.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, properly second. Question? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Yep. The next thing is the wastewater collection 6th Street slip line project. We do have the $150,000 in the budget for this, it was put in there. And this is also a Co-Stars project. We contacted 2 Co-Stars individuals. The one we use, Mr. Rehab is the guy we usually use, so I had him contact another Co-Stars guy, so he doesn't use the same guy all the time. So he contacted the other Co-Stars guy, they said that's fine, because we sub out to Mr. Rehab. So it goes back to Mr. Rehab, kind of a sole source. And the cost for 6th Street is $150,000. We were gonna do this the last couple of years, but because of COVID and stuff, we haven't been able to, so the money is still in the budget of $150,000. We need permission to move forward with that project. This has to do with the inflow and infiltration. Last week, we discussed on our old sewer lines, that's costing us money from all the water getting in our lines.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made, properly second. Question? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. CDBG Southside Improvement Project, $7,914.
Correct, we need this approved for the final payment.
Make a motion, we give the final payment.
Second.
Motion made, properly second. Any question? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carries. And number 9, you're gonna. that's
Seasonal
executive.
employees, nothing, no, that doesn't have to be executive session.
Yeah.
We have lifeguards that we need for the pool, and we talked about hiring some internal interns, college kids to help with DPW this summer. So I'd like to have permission just to advertise the positions and start getting applicants.
I make a motion, we advertise.
Can I just ask a question? The kids that are down there that you're talking about, do they have to have CPR? Like the ones who are just selling tickets or working
They have
in
to
the
have the Red Cross training,
concession stand?
CPR, and that stuff, yes.
They have to
Yes.
be CPR certified?
If they're gonna be lifeguards. Sometimes you hire kids, just run the front desk or concession, and they don't have to have that.
Yeah, okay, the ones that have no desire to do
Right.
that, okay. And what is the age?
I
Did we
think,
set an age?
I think it was 16 and up.
No, I think we had younger kids down there last year. My nephew was one of them,
Oh, illegally?
yeah.
I don't think illegally, as long as you can get a worker.
She
Well,
said
no, I mean, selling, I mean, selling
think
tickets.
as long as you
You're
can get the
allowed.
worker's
Work permit.
Yeah, the work
With a
permit.
work permit.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had one. I know.
We just want to advertise for the positions, because we gotta find out who we're gonna have for this summer. We won't go through the process of hiring unless we go to the personnel committee, so it's just permission to start getting ads
Second.
out. Okay, do it.
Any public comments?
Oh, you gotta finish voting.
You gonna vote on that, Larry,
You gotta
or?
vote on that one. You got a first and a second to give
Oh,
permission to
okay.
hire. So you have to say aye.
Motion made, properly second. Question? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Now, is there any public comments before we go into executive session? Okay, if not, we're gonna adjourn the meeting,
Executive session.
go into executive session.
Oh, you're adjourned.